One of the best ways to keep your video viewers engaged and tuned in longer, coming back for more and more, getting them winning is to create a live video series. You might be going live weekly now with different topics, but a video series really allows you to take your engagement and your teaching to the next level. Here's the thing though, it can be a lot. So, with your weekly lives that you're doing, you have your script that you're writing out, you're taking the time to go live, but the content doesn't necessarily have to be building off of past videos or future videos. It's just sort of one and done. So you might be worried about the time and energy and effort it's going to take and wondering if it's really the right fit to be doing something like a video series and when it is appropriate. So if you've been wondering that, today is the day, and this is the video to watch to help you sort through some of those thoughts and feelings. I'm going to walk you through the behind the scenes of what goes into creating a winning live video series. We're going to talk through a little bit more in depth why a series. We're going to talk why so many series flop, and a little bit about like choosing a topic as well. So I am recording this live right now. So if you are here watching with me live, drop me a hashtag live or hashtag replay. Let me know where in the world you are watching from. I'm live on a couple platforms, YouTube, a few places on Facebook. So it's good to have all of you here. I see we have a bunch of people watching. And my first question for all of you before we dive in is, have you hosted a series before? You can just drop me a yes or a no if you want to give me a little bit more detail about what exactly you did your series on, how it went. I would love to hear that too. But let me know so I can get a gauge for kind of where everybody is at with some of the stuff. And I'll talk about this more at the end. But just so you know, for my Video Skills Lab students, which is my $9 a month membership, starting tomorrow, we are doing a private live video series challenge where every day for the next 5 days, I am going to be helping my students literally put together their video series, from choosing the topic to building a waiting list of people ready to actually writing and filming the content. So the link, if you do want to join us and you are not a member of the Video Skills Lab, make sure you join if you want to get in on this challenge. If you're already a member, you don't have to join again. Just make sure you go to our group and sign up. So let's jump in. Let's get started. First off, we're going to start with something really, really simple, which is just so everyone's on the same page. What the heck is a live video series? Right? So at its core, it is basically a sequence of videos that is helping your audience achieve something very specific, right? They can walk away saying, I have learned how to do X, or I was able to implement Y. It's really a very specific win that they are getting out of the series of videos, right? And so you could use it to, for example, if you have an influx of new members coming in, you could have a series B to kind of get them up to speed on what they need to know about, your industry and how you solve the problems that you do in your industry. It could be that you just have a ton of people hanging out in your audience that are kind of stuck and needing breakthroughs. I did a poll yesterday in the video marketing hangout group. We had almost 60 people vote on this poll, and I even left it open for people to kind of give suggestions. And one of the biggest things people said was, you guys wanted strategies to help revive a dead Facebook group with your video series. And that could be an amazing use for a video series. Whoever suggested that was a great topic. But that's the thing, you could have that dead Facebook group and, want to kind of get people in action again, want to get that group going again, and leveraging this series to kind of build that momentum. I'm going to share my screen real quick because I would love to give you an example of a recent video series. And I'm going to take this little banner off the screen that I did. This was back in July of this year. Let me know if you watched this video series. But this series was called the 10 Ways in 10 Days series, the ultimate live video confidence building series. And super simple, as you can see. Basically, I've got each day a video that is less than 10 minutes that is giving you a short, actionable tip that's going to help you build confidence on camera. So, to give some context to this, the reason why I created this series was because over this last year, I've just had so many speaking engagements and bundles and ads that I've run, so many people who are new to my audience. And I was like, you know what? I want to put together a series that's going to address the most common questions that I get from people who are new, right? And I'm also on the back end selling, one of my core offers, which is the Video Skills Up, but it's not about completely selling. Like it's value, right? So if you go through this, whether you buy it or not, you're going to get that value, right? So this is a really good example of one that I love. And I went into this video knowing, okay, this is going to be for people who are brand new to getting on live video and are new to my audience and my teachings. And I want it to also lead to the Video Skills Lab and start promoting that as well. This series right here is one that is now selling my membership on autopilot, which is amazing. It lives in my free Facebook group. As you can see, the Video Marketing Hangout Facebook group. I'm live in a couple places right now, so I'm clarifying that. But every single person who comes in to this Facebook group gets tagged in a welcome post. They get a welcome sequence, and it's always directing people toward this series because it's going to answer the questions that they've got when they first come into the group. Or I usually always have DM conversations with new people who come into the group. I can also use this series to help answer people's questions, the most common questions people have that they are telling me as well, right? So it's now this content library that was specifically designed for new people, right? So that's the kind of the power in this. Let me know if you guys are with me so far. You can just comment yes. But I was super clear before I created this that, who I wanted it to be for. I was super clear on what I wanted to achieve with it and make sure I was really spending the time well. And now we have this amazing sequence of videos. So let me know if you guys have questions so far. I'm going to look through the comments. I see we've got Leanne here. We've got someone from Dallas, Texas. Amazing. Oh, maybe this is Wendy here. Wendy Lopez. Awesome. All right. Let's keep moving. So that's what a video series is. Let's talk a little bit about like why a series. And, I did talk about this a bit at the beginning, but let's briefly just touch on this. So the first thing is just retention and increased watch time, right? So if you are very clear with your audience about what it is they're going to achieve in this video series, and they know that it's going to be across a set of videos, and you've marketed it the right way, and in each video you're telling people to go to the next one, or you're giving context to all of it, it's going to increase the amount of time, if you're doing it right, that people are watching, which is huge. Right now, we're in an attention economy. We're all fighting for eyeballs. We're all fighting for attention. We're all fighting for time. And so this brings some continuity to, what you are doing, right? And like if you think about it, the most successful platforms do it. And I'm not even talking about like marketers. I'm talking about Netflix, right? So a really good example of this is The Queen's Gambit. If anybody watched that series on Netflix, it was like a limited series, 4 episodes. It was just incredible content in these 4 episodes. And you better believe I binged all 4 of those within like 2 or 3 days. It was probably like 2 days. Who am I kidding? But yeah. So like, again, it's to have these little pop-up series that are helping people accomplish something specific in a short time, I think is a really, really incredible thing that, again, not even just marketers are doing, that multiple platforms are doing. Another key thing I think this is successful is you can take something that's really, really complex. So if there's a topic that you feel like your audience is struggling, you could potentially break this down, break the topic down into multiple little bite-sized snackable segments, right? So instead of giving them the whole bowl of popcorn, you're just going to give them a few kernels, a few pieces every single video. I can even do it for this training with you guys right now, right? So right now I'm going through everything with like, you know, helping you decide, should you run this series? Should you build a live video series or not? Right. So in this series, I'm talking about, you know, what is a series and why host it and why so many flop and how do you choose a topic, right? And asking you, you know, have you hosted a series? Like there's all these key points that I'm hitting, right? But if I thought this topic was a really overwhelming, maybe I would literally just break it up into just pieces, like into a little mini series versus giving everything. So I think when you have more complex topics that are just people are stuck, it helps to break it down in some of those ways. Okay, cool. So if you're with me so far, just give me a yes in the chat. If you have questions, feel free to drop them as well, and I'm happy to address them. But we're going to move on to, I think, something that's really, really important, and that is why do so many series flop, right? And, you know, in the Video Skills Lab and some of the other coaching that I've done, I've just seen so many people do these series, and a lot of times they don't go well. So why don't they go well? There's a couple of reasons that I want to talk to you about. So number one is a poor choice in topic, right? People just sort of go with their gut instinct or intuition instead of kind of using both the intuition and the strategy. You want to have a balance of both because sometimes, you know, we're getting these like signs that we should be doing something, but like it's not necessarily aligned with helping us get to the bigger goal, right? So we do need to have like some strategy that's in there too. So for example, poor choice in topic could be something's way too general, right? So for example, if I did a video series on how to market with video in 2023, it's like, okay, there's like a million types of video. There's reels, there's TikToks, there's live videos, there's short form content, there's long form content, there's editing that content. Like there's so much that goes into, you know, video marketing in 2023. That's not a good topic. Like that's too broad and no one's going to really feel like it resonates with them in particular. But if I do 10 ways in 10 days to building live video confidence, that is way more specific. And you guys, let me know as audience members, if you saw, you know, in the newsfeed, if you saw A, video marketing in 2023 versus B, you know, 10 ways in 10 days, the ultimate live building the ultimate series to build confidence on live video. Which one are you going to, A or B? Right? My gut says you're coming to B, but let me know if you'd rather go to A. But that's the first thing. Usually it's too general. Another reason, another poor choice in series topic is if the topic you are choosing is unrelated to your goals. So I'll give you an example. I had a strength and conditioning coach that I worked with who was trying to sell a recurring membership, right? So she is basically teaching women how to get in the weight room and get stronger and all that good stuff, which is awesome. And the series that she created was all about mindset, and it was all about like specifically like how to do like journaling and things like that. And if you looked at this series, you wouldn't even know it had anything to do with strength and conditioning. But here's the thing. She does use like journaling techniques to help people while they are in the strength and conditioning process. But the people who are wanting help are focused on the strength and conditioning. So you got to make sure you are leading with the thing that is tangible, top of mind, the problem that is keeping people awake at night versus sort of whatever you feel like is interesting to talk about, right? So let me know if that makes sense. But Some of the biggest issues with topics, again, are being way too general and creating something that isn't necessarily related to exactly what you do or isn't 100% clear to your audience, right? So that's the first reason so many video series flop. Second reason, and this is when you might see me get a little heated on, because I'm so passionate about this, and I hope you guys see this through my own content. But another reason I see a lot of video series flop is people are so worried that they're giving too much away. They're obsessed with feeling like things need to be behind a paywall rather than going into their video series with their intent 100% to just be getting the person on the other end of the screen a win. Right? And I get it. Like, we're not going live for our health. Like, you want to make money, like you're running a business, you want this to be worth your time 100%. But when your focus is on your results solely versus, the result of your audience, you end up not getting the kind of result you want, right? Because here's the thing. When your audience starts winning, you start winning. So if you go through this series and you go all out, you're just like crushing it. You're getting people wins. You're giving them so much value, right? You're like love bombing them with value, right? And they start taking action. They start winning. Of course, they want to continue winning with you, right? Versus the person who's kind of stingy and like you're not really sure if they can help you. And there's a million, creators out there who, can kind of do a similar thing. And, I think the crux of this issue too, just to take this a step further, is information is not the problem right there. Like, you guys could Google, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, all this information is out there. Like, it's really hard to not find like a topic that is covered in depth. I don't think information is the problem in 2023. The problem is implementation. The problem is that people aren't taking action, or if they are taking action, they're having trouble with the execution. They're having trouble understanding how something directly applies to them. They're having trouble understanding how to continuously show up, right? And make changes based off of the feedback they're getting from whatever they're doing. But if you're someone who is basically telling yourself that people need more information, I think you've got it wrong in 2023. Like, it's not more information people need. It's implementation. It's help taking the things that they already know and putting it into practice at a high level and successfully, right? I think that is so huge. So I think the people who are worried about and obsessed with the paywall don't understand this concept. That like I really think like you could probably put all your courses like online and people would still pay you for implementation work. They'd still not be getting it right. And I told you I was going to get heated on this, right? One more really, really good quote from Simon Sinek. I got to see him live, in 2020, actually right before the pandemic really started, when I was living in Boston. He was incredible. He's a leadership guy. He has a super viral TED Talk, Start With Why. Great speaker, great person to follow. But one of the things he said that will forever stick with me is, if self-help books were working, the section would be getting smaller, not larger. But every single year, more and more and more self-help books and personal development books come out, right? And so that's the thing. Like, it just goes back to show like information isn't the problem. It's implementation. This stuff is everywhere. All right, I told you again, I was going to get heated on this. But I hope this is helpful, and I hope this is like giving you guys some light bulb moments about if you are that person who's worried about like giving away too much, right? Okay, so again, we're talking about why these things flop. So we talked about poor choice in topic. You just heard me get on the soapbox to talk about, a lot of people are too worried about the paywall and they don't end up giving any value. And then the last piece to this is sometimes they don't go well. They might add value to the audience, but they don't get the desired end goal result, meaning like sales or whatever you're optimizing for, because the creator of the series is not clear about exactly what they want to get from it, right? So if your goal is to revive your dead Facebook group, I'm going to use that as an example, right? If your goal is to revive this dead Facebook group and you're going to use this video series to do it, right? Don't then go and post on every single social media platform all of these different videos and have a million different calls to action. Like, have it be very focused and clear. And I know this sounds simple, but this is what I see all the time, right? Where they want to revive the dead Facebook group, and then you end up posting everywhere and doing all of the things versus just kind of focusing on that one thing and going all in on that one thing. We're going to talk more about kind of understanding the purpose of your series in a minute, but just when you go into the series, have your goal be very, very explicit. Okay, like I said, we're going to talk more about this in just a second. Okay, cool. So, lastly, we're going to touch on this briefly. In the Video Skills Lab this past Friday, we did a 1-hour training on in preparation for the challenge. We did a 1-hour training on what goes into creating your live video series, and we go really, really in depth on this. So we don't have a ton of time tonight. I'm going to briefly touch on this. And again, for you guys who are in the Video Skills Lab, you'll get the full thing. So let me pull up. I just have everything written down. Okay. So when you are choosing your topic, like we said, we don't want it to be too general. We want it to be really clear how it's moving people to the next step. And in order to get really, really clear on your goal for your series, you want to be able to ask yourself really 2 core questions, right? And that is, who the heck is this video series for? Right? So there's 2 levels to this. Who is this for in terms of demographics? So for example, this 10 ways in 10 days live video series, who is it for? It is for entrepreneurs who are selling coaching courses, digital products, and want to use live video, but are struggling with the confidence to do it, right? So really specifically, who the heck is this for? And the second level to who is this for is, where are they at in the journey? Where are they at in the process? Because not everyone in your audience is at the same place, right? Especially if you've been around for a while, you've been growing your communities, you've been growing your email lists and your courses, memberships, whatever you're selling, right? There's students, for example, I have students who are brand new. They've never done a live. People who are doing it once in a while that aren't having a ton of success. People who are crushing it. Like I have students who are every week going on years, that are every week showing up and converting and doing so well and are just continuing to grow and grow and grow. So when you create a series, a lot of people struggle with knowing what to put in the series because they're not clear on who it's for, right? They're clear sort of on the topic where they're like, I could be clear on, okay, I want to help people with live video confidence. But if I don't know what stage in the journey they are at, then I don't know what to put in my series. So again, my goal for the 10 ways in 10 days video series, and I'll share my screen again with you guys so you can see. This is in the Video Marketing Hangout group. You guys can go back and watch it too if you want to see an example of a video series. But my goal was to have a clear sequence of videos for anyone who was new to the group, educating them on my core content, educating them on the things that you would need to get up to speed in the with live videos specifically, right? So that's what I was super, super clear on. And the second thing, so again, just so we're all on the same page, we got to know who it's for, demographics, and what stage of the journey they're in. And then we also got to know, where are we leading them to next, right? So for me, I'm like the Video Skills Lab, which teaches live video for $9 a month. You get access to the coaching calls and library of content and the community and all that amazing stuff. right? So it makes sense, right? It makes sense to go from 10 ways in 10 days live video series to a live video membership, right? So it matches up. Okay. All right. Last thing I'm going to say on kind of choosing this topic too is once you have an idea of who you want to market this to, where you want to lead them, you sort of have two choices here. And it's not really a choice. Maybe choice is the wrong word. There's two options, I should say, right? Option number one, if you have an audience, you are going to want to do something that I think it really is the difference for my students who have success and don't. And that is build a waiting list for your series. So if you have an audience, my rule of thumb is do not build anything until you have asked your audience that they want it. It will save you so much time and energy while also building a warm list of people who are excited. So in preparation for this 10 ways in 10 days, when I was just thinking about the idea, I posted in my Facebook group, hey, if I ran a free 10 ways in 10 days series all about blah, 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 would you come? And I had tons of people like, hell yes, this sounds amazing. I can't wait. And I was like, cool. I know people are going to come watch this live. That means new people to the group are going to like this as well. So I was like, okay, I've got the green flag to go ahead and do this, right? So if you have an audience, once you choose a topic, validate it. Don't do all this work and then, find out that your audience doesn't care. So build that warm lead list, validate your topic. If you have been guilty of doing the thing where you just launch and it ends up being crickets because you haven't validated it, even though you have that audience, just comment guilty, because I used to do it all the time and I just will never, ever do it again. So you guys will see me you probably have seen me doing offer posts frequently in the Facebook group. Okay. If you do not have an audience, right, that's okay too. You know what's funny? Like going into this challenge in the Video Skills Lab tomorrow, this 5-day live video series challenge, a good majority of my students who are doing it are like, have never even done a live or are just building their audience. And the mentality that we have there is that you want to work for your future audience, right? It does not matter if 0 people are there, 50 people, 100 people. You are building this library of content that you're going to continue to leverage well past the go live date, right? And so what that means is it's okay if you don't have the audience to ask right now. It's okay if this is the first time. Work for your future audience. That's what I would say. And as you are growing that audience, maybe you realize, okay, that wasn't the right series, but it was still beneficial. Because it got you on camera, it got you testing your message, it got people seeing your face, it got you more comfortable. So there's still value in that, right? Hitting the go live button is so much more, in my opinion, than just leads and sales. And obviously that stuff is important, but the underrated stuff is honing your messaging, right? And people getting to see your face and you getting more comfortable and you growing as a persuasive speaker, right? That doesn't just happen right away. You got to hone that just like you would a muscle in the gym. So that is really, really, really huge. Even if you don't have the audience, work for the future audience and start using it as a place to practice. Okay. All right. Let me see if we have any questions. So if you do have questions, you can drop them in the chat. So I see Leanne. Hey, Leanne, asking, what is the date, as the video is blurry for me? So let me actually pull up the description. This is the event that's happening in the Video Skills Lab group. So I'm going to walk you through this. So it starts tomorrow, Monday, the 23rd. And what you're going to have to do to participate in this challenge is, if you're already in the Video Skills Lab and you haven't watched the pre-training, you got to watch the pre-training. If you're not in it, you got to sign up for $9 a month. Watch the pre-training. The link to sign up's in the description of this video. If you need me to send it to you directly, just comment. But this is the Video Skills Lab platform. What you're going to do is go into coaching calls and replays, 2023 Zoom coaching calls. So we recorded this series, this video this past Friday, and it walks you through every single step that we are going to go through this next 5-day challenge. But what I am going to do is every day over the next 5 days, we're going to break this down, and I'm going to give you little homework assignments to help you achieve this. So let me make this a little bigger so you can see the kind of breakdown of what the days look like. Okay. So day number 1 is tomorrow. I'm going to help you set your goals, help you make the core decisions around what your series is going to look like, from like, okay, what are the dates? How long are the videos going to be? Who is it going to be for? All that good stuff. Like what's going to go into that based off of your business. After that, we're going to choose day 2. We're going to go into choosing topics. So based off of, again, who you're marketing to and your offers, we're going to pick a few topics, and I'll be able to help you come up with a really sexy title and some compelling stuff for it. The final 3 days, maybe they don't sound super sexy, but this is the good stuff. This is where I am literally going to be helping you write out the scripts. So you're not dragging your heels. You're not just coming up with ideas. You are literally going to write the scripts, and then I am going to audit them for you. So by the end of these 5 days, you are like ready to hit the go live button. You do hit that go live button by the end. The point is action taking. The point is we're moving forward in the right direction. Okay. All right. So we've got, I was looking at the 10 days one, which you mentioned. Oh, okay. I misunderstood that. So if you go into the video marketing hangout group, Leanna, and you go under, okay, well, this is, if you go under announcements and you go under see all, you'll be able to see the series here, but it's from July. I posted the recap of it on July 17th. So you should be able to see that. You should be able to see that there. And honestly, like, if you guys haven't watched it, I think it's a really, really good series. Of course, I think it's a good series, right? You're like, eye roll. But there is really good content. So I have things like, 3 ways to bring fun and lightness back to your video, common scenarios that trip up creators, what script you should use to, build confidence on live video. I give case studies, how one of my students went from 6 to 400 people in the Facebook group. So again, like a lot of really good stuff if you haven't watched it before. And that's about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed, let me take this off. I hope you guys enjoyed this little video today. Thanks so much for joining me live. It's Sunday night for a lot of you. There's a bunch of people from Australia joining, so some from Monday too. But the point is, it's the beginning of a new week, and I'm excited for this series. So again, if you do want to join, if you're already a member of the Video Skills Lab, you're just going to show up in the group, watch the pre-training. If you're not a member, I put the link to join for $9 in the description of this video. You'll also get access to everything else. So you'll get access to this, entire library of content as well. There's so much incredible content in there. You'll get access to our, Zoom coaching calls, our weekly lives where we audit your scripts. There's a lot of good stuff. So if you do have questions, you can let me know. But otherwise, that is it for tonight. If you are here watching with me live, you can drop me a hashtag live. If you watched the replay, you can drop me a hashtag replay. And I will see you all soon. Thanks for tuning in.